This is going to be a review of the new Romeoville Skatepark. There used to be an old skate park here that was actually not too bad for my own metrics. I'll put a little image of it over here somewhere so you can see. But I guess the city wanted to redo something that was maybe a little bit more permanent, and lucky for Romeoville, they actually got Spawn Ranch to come through and redo this one, and they did a good job. So we're gonna talk about it. I'll break it all down, show you all the pieces of this park, and yeah, this is Romeoville, Illinois. So here's the breakdown of it. First and foremost, this park is a pour-in. What do I mean by that? They took the old concrete that was already existing and built the new ramps into the old concrete. Now, is that my personal preference? No. I wish that they did use the same concrete to pour new ground, but that's not ultimately Spawn Ranch's decision. That is a decision that the city made in order to save money. It would cost them a little more to have new ground, and they thought, what's the point in new ground? Because we're not skating, so we don't care, but it's us, the skaters, that care. So that's not a Spawn Ranch thing, that's a city thing. However, they did do a good job, and by they I mean Spawn Ranch did a good job with this park. Right next to me, there is a half pipe section, which has kind of that split in the middle. I know some people are kind of wary about that. Some people like it. I don't mind it, maybe because I don't skate enough transition. And then they have kind of a little flow out section that can kind of get you to go around to the back, which I think is cool. We'll get over to that in a second, but that flows out to the street section. Over behind me, you might be able to see, they have the whole middle section right here. So there's a hip, there's like a little curb attachment for the hip, there's a down rail. They have two hubbas. The cool thing about that, they have a ride-on down rail, and the down rail is pretty big, so I think without that ride-on part, not that I would ride on to it to skate that down rail, maybe it's like a little pole jam ride-on type thing. It is kind of a hefty down rail, I noticed. Not the easiest for just any skater to get on. Probably pretty good for bikes. I know if you're like an advanced skater, it'll be pretty good for you. Same situation over there with the hubbas. They have two ride-on style hubbas. Overall, the middle piece, pretty cool. Just next to that, they have a continuation of the street section. Just next to that, they have a ledge, a round rail, and a curb. Now, this ledge, I do like the size of that ledge. I'm glad we have it because the jet ledge right over here, which you might be able to see in my camera view right here, the jet ledge over there is pretty tall, so kind of out of my height range of skating a ledge, but they do have a smaller ledge that's good for, you know, your average skater to pull up and hit on that other side, which is a nice feature. It's similar to the Wheaton Skatepark ledge, but my issue with it is that they pulled out a rail or some object from the last park that has the lines from where they cut it out right along the edge of where you're riding to hit the ledge. I don't know why, but that throws me off personally. When you can almost kind of feel it on your wheels. It's not too bad, but you definitely, you think about it, you know? But I do like that we have that ledge there. Now, next to that is a round rail. The round rail, I'm not gonna lie, it's just like a couple inches too tall for me. It's one of those rails that like you go up to it and you're like, oh, this is, ooh, wait a minute, little too tall kind of situation. Maybe for others it's fine, but it is a round rail. I kind of wish it was maybe like a square rail there. Might be kind of a fun thing to have. But maybe they didn't do that because just next to that, they have a metal curb, which has a flat top to it. Metal curb, I will say, is a new thing that I haven't really seen at too many Spawn Ranch parks, but maybe that's like a normal thing for some of the other parks. So I guess it's kind of cool that we have that. I kind of already pointed this out already, but over here, they have this big long jet ledge, which is a feature that the last skate park had that they left alone. I'm actually glad they left that. I think it helps with the flow. Over on the back half, they actually kept the style of the transition section that used to be at the old park. I can kind of show you an image on the screen of what the old park was like. But basically there's like a quarter pipe, there's like a roll-in feature to skate that street section we just talked about. And then there's kind of a, not really half pipe, it's like a quarter pipe that flows over to a spine and then a little rollover next to that spine, which actually gives you a lot of speed. And then they have a section in the back, which is two quarter pipes with a little barrier attachment piece in the middle, and then that kind of completes that whole transition section. And that really makes up the park. I mean, at least the ground at this skate park isn't as rough as like the Wheaton Skatepark ground. It's at least a little bit more smooth. This ground could be worse, I will say that. So for all intents and purposes, it flows nicely. I'm glad we have a concrete park that will last, and I'm glad they didn't deter too much from the last park to do something that was like totally different or whatever. It kind of like is a nice, you know, nice little way to bring back the old park in a new fashion, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So all that said, good work to Spawn Ranch as always. I think they do a lot of good work and they're doing a lot for us in the Midwest. We're very lucky to have them. So this is Romeoville, Illinois Volunteer Park. Overall, I give this park a solid 8 out of 10. So if you enjoyed this video, if you're enjoying yourself while watching this video, hit that subscribe button because I'm gonna post more skate park reviews as they come up and more detailed skate park reviews. So if that's your thing, be sure to follow along. More to come, all right? Peace.